our lead this hour coming from the NBA. Interesting story here. Some new turbulence under the Brooklyn Bridge. Kevin Durant had a hissy fit and demanded to be traded through surrogates. He is currently stuck in a holding pattern circling JFK Airport. He's upset by that. And if KD's not happy, nobody's happy. We've said this before. We'll say it again. Have you heard the latest? Maybe not. So stories have been bouncing around the blogosphere saying that Kevin Durant was actually more apt to retire than play against the Brooklyn Nets. And that story bounced around part of the day. NBA insider and former Saddleback Gaucho Mark Stein said that an exec had told him during Summer League that the situation was such that Durant maybe he'll retire, and the situation's not improved since then. Said if Durant hasn't been traded by training camp, there's a growing expectation in league circles, that's good weasel terminology, that he, meaning Durant, will continue trying to cause as much of a ruckus behind the scenes to prod the Nets into lowering their asking price and at last to facilitate a deal. Now, he wants to still play for the Heat or the Suns, but he's open to playing in Boston or Philadelphia. Now, after that story bounced around, dribble, bounce, bounce, bounce. It bounced around. Mark Stein got very upset because the blogosphere, the people that aggregate sports news, they took what Stein wrote and they made headlines out of it. He said, hey, wait a minute, I never promoted the retirement idea. I just included that to set up what I was getting at. This was on his Substack, which is where Mark Stein is at now. But the great thing about the blogs is you don't have to pay for all this paid content. You can get some of it for free. People aggregate it and share it with you. Well, the aggregators wanting to get clicks went with Durant's going to retire. Durant is said to apparently not care about what this does to his reputation, and he hasn't played a single game yet under the 4-year, $194 million contract extension. Marone, how about that? $194 million, you're unhappy. He signed that in August of 2021. Durant also responded on social media, of course he did, to harpoon the story. So let us discuss the question, what do you make of this latest Kevin Durant chatter? Chatter, not batter, chatter. I've got seatbelts, Lego movie, and line cook. And we're going to put all of these things together, and we're going to make a sourpuss is what we're going to make, because that's Kevin Durant's facial expression. And here we go. Number one. Kevin Durant can write the book on being unhappy. He can write the book on that when you make a lot of money. And that's what makes a story like the initial reporting believable. The track record, right? When given the opportunity, he has finagled his way around the NBA. When Durant left the Dust Bowl, he was a free agent. Had it made. They worshipped him in small-town Oklahoma City, how great Kevin Durant was. Again, after his time was up with the Warriors, he exited stage right, went all the way to the East Coast. And this time it's different, right? The message coming from the cockpit is clear. Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has not turned off the fasten seatbelt sign, indicating that it is not safe to move around the cabin. And so Durant, mention, he has not played a game under this $194 million extension, meaning that he is strapped to a bed of money. Like, he's got all the money in the safety deposit boxes, and there's no wiggle. There's no wiggle room. If he retires, that's it. Finito. Done. Durant won't be a free agent until 2026. And he shot all this down. He'll be 38 years old by then. This is the last meaningful contract that Durant has. I mean, this is it, right? This is the one for Durant. And so the retirement noise was no bueno. It was a no bueno situation. But every man, woman, and child knows this, and it's like the old Mark Twain quote. We bring this up a lot. He's the one credited with saying it. A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes. I don't even know if Twain actually said that or not, but everyone said he did, so we just go with it. Now, secondly, page 2. Did the Nets change their deal with Kevin Durant? Now, this is the popular pick by popular people. It's been tossed out by surrogates of KD, and his band of merry men are taking a page out of the script of the Lego movie, Good Cop, Bad Cop. And that's what this is. It's a psychological tactic used to curry public favor, I should say. Durant, he wants you to believe that he is the innocent victim of a circumstance, that the Nets franchise was so horny for KD and Kyrie that they made a Faustian bargain. And everything would have been fine if it hadn't been for you meddling executives. But the way I've heard from people I know who work in that industry, that Durant had and still has a final cut on major roster moves, that he has to rubber stamp the players that come to the Nets. He's got a similar package to what LeBron has, what Kyrie and other headliners, Kawhi, I should say, have around the NBA. So unfortunately, KD has had butterfingers when it comes to roster moves, and he's signed off on a bunch of moves that have not worked out. He's picked the wrong puzzle pieces that don't fit the puzzle. All right, final point. So is it true that KD doesn't care about his reputation? No. I'm shaking my head no. Even in this particular story from Mark Stein, the NBA insider, Kevin ended up responding to it. As we said, he could not stop. He could not help himself. Why? Durant has the skin of a salamander. He's got salamander skin. It's very thin. He's very sensitive. And it drives him batty that people will goof on him, and they still goof on him for joining the Warriors and then leaving the Warriors. And so KD's like a line cook. He's had so many burners going. And all of this, these burner accounts, he did this on his regular account, but the burner accounts used to attack those who besmirch his good name and those that attempt to trash Kevin Durant. He comes right back at it. Furthermore, Durant grumbled that most people will believe unnamed sources over me, but if it's anyone out there that'll listen, I don't plan on retiring anytime soon. He said the ship is comical at this point. I think there was a different letter there. I don't think he used P. I think there was a different letter that he used. So let me help touch up Kevin Durant's work here. The reason people will believe unnamed sources over an athlete like yourself is because 99.9% of athletes will lie to your face. They feed the dum-dums fertilizer. You get a bag, you get a bag, you get a bag, you get a bag. Everyone gets a bag of fertilizer. That's right. That's on the record.
That's fertilizer, says Kemp over and over. That is fertilizer.
Yeah, the good stuff comes off the record from unnamed sources. That's the good stuff.